Chapter 7. Piper. I'm fairly certain that Patrick and I have very different definitions of fun, because this idea does not sound fun to me. I didn't even dress right for an event like this, though I'm not sure what the appropriate dress would be. But I'm pretty sure my slacks and button-down shirt that I wore to work are not it. And I should have applied at least another 3 layers of deodorant. I can already feel the area under my arms heating up. I have no doubt that I will be sporting giant underarm rings before the night is over. "Hey, it's going to be okay," Patrick says, as we pull up in front of a building that I didn't even know existed. On the top is a lighted sign that reads, Queen of Spades. Easy for you to say, you don't have a problem speaking to strangers. No, but I'll be participating right along with you and sending you moral support. I roll my eyes. His moral support isn't doing anything for my dry throat or the knots forming in my stomach. Fine, let's go. The inside of the building is clearly a restaurant normally, but all the tables have been moved to form a line. A large man stands at a table near the door. "Name?" he asks, barely looking up. Piper Montgomery. The man nods, writes my name on the list, and hands me a name tag. "And you?" He looks at Patrick. Patrick rattles off his name, and the man hands him a name tag as well. "Have a seat. We're just about to get started." "You've got this," Patrick says to me as we sit down in the waiting area. "Okay, everyone, if I can get your attention, we're going to get started." I look up to see a petite, ginger-haired woman standing in a chair near the bar, a microphone in her hands. Her hair is not quite as red as mine, but I feel a tiny bit of camaraderie all the same. For those of you who have never attended a speed dating event, let me go over a few rules. Women, you'll sit on the far side of the table closest to the door. Men, you'll pick any table to start with and sit across from a woman. A bell will go off and you'll have 5 minutes to chat with your partner and see if you might be a match. Be sure to mark on your paper yes or no. After 5 minutes, another bell will go off. Men, you will move to the next table and the round will begin again. At the end of the night, you will have met every eligible woman and vice versa. You'll bring your papers to me, and if you have checked yes to any numbers who also checked yes for you, I will give you both the contact information. Any questions? I look around as the woman scans the crowd, but no hand lifts. Evidently, everyone feels confident about this process. I wish I was. Wonderful. Then please grab a table and take a seat. Patrick and I both head towards the tables, but there's no table with both chairs open, and I watch him walk to a nearby table, my body feeling like someone took the last life preserver. I sit down across from a man with glasses, and a bell sounds. "Hey there, I'm Matt." He extends his hand. "Hi, Matt. I'm Piper." I shake his hand and then just stare at him. What am I supposed to do next? An awkward beat passes, and then Matt speaks again. "So, what do you do?" "I'm a programmer." Why is this so hard for me? Matt seems like a genuinely nice person. "How about you?" He launches into a discussion about his job in finance, and I nod along, though I don't really think I hear much of what he says. My eyes shift to find Patrick, and when he catches me looking at him, he gives me a thumbs up and a smile. I try to smile back, but my face feels frozen. And then the bell rings. Across from me, Matt stands and smiles at me. "It was nice meeting you, Piper." You too," I manage, but my attention is on the piece of paper. Matt was number 1, but do I check yes or no for him? He didn't seem awful, but I definitely didn't feel any fireworks. No, it is then. As soon as I turn the paper over, the next man sits across from me. This one is very thin, with glasses thicker than mine and a bad comb-over.
"Brad's the name. Engineering's my game,"
he announces loudly. This is going to be a long 5 minutes. Hi, Brad. I'm Piper. I work in...
"Yeah, I design parts for jet engines. Real complex stuff. You probably wouldn't understand it. But that's okay. I don't expect most people to get it,"
he rambles, cutting me off. I badly want to turn over my paper and draw an emphatic no, but it would be rude, so I don't. Instead, I nod along and wait for a break in his spiel to ask him a question. But it's like Brad is a record on repeat. Finally, he takes a breath and I spit my question out. That all sounds amazing, but what do you like to do for fun? Brad blinks at me as if I've asked him to explain the theory of quantum physics instead of his hobbies.
"Fun? I'm too busy with my important work to have much fun. However, if you're talking about hobbies, I do enjoy building model airplanes in my basement."
Of course he does. He then delves into a detailed description of his model airplane collection, and I sneak a glance at my watch, willing the minutes to go faster. How can 5 minutes feel so long? Finally, the bell rings and Brad stands.
"Well, gotta run, Penelope, but here's my card. Give me a call if you want to see my airplane collection."
And then he winks at me. He couldn't even remember my name, but he winks at me? This is a disaster, but I take his card and force a smile. Sure, thanks, Brad. I'm tempted to call him the wrong name as well, but I have a feeling he would lecture me on that too. So I don't. I do, however, make his checkmark black and thick in the no column. The next man could be a picture for the word pretentious in the dictionary. His nose is lifted in the air, causing him to literally look down on people. I have no doubt this will be another disaster, but I try my best to sound upbeat. Hi, I'm Piper.
"Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Nigel, and I am a scholar of philosophy."
My jaw clenches involuntarily. Oh boy, this is going to be painful. I didn't like philosophy when I had to take it in college. I enjoy intellectual conversation, but arguing over whether a table was still a table if it had no legs did not qualify in my book.
"Of course, Kierkegaard's views on existential dread are a tad reductive, don't you think?"
Nigel asks in a condescending tone. He lowers his nose slightly so that he can see me. I should just nod and keep my mouth closed, but I don't like the way this guy is acting. I know what he's talking about, but most people wouldn't, and it feels like he's bringing it up just to be a snob. Actually, I find his view much deeper than anxiety due to the expanse of freedom his view offers. Nigel blinks at me.
"Yes, well, I'm sure that Socrates would not feel the same way."
I could argue with him, considering that Kierkegaard was a student of Socrates, but I don't. Instead, I let him prattle on and glance around for Patrick once again. When I catch his eye, I mouth the words, "Help me," but he simply smiles and shakes his head. This is pure torture. But thankfully, the bell rings again, and I wave goodbye to Nigel and add his name to the no category as well. Just a few more of these horrible dates, and then I can call this a night. The next man is a short, portly fellow with a bushy mustache. It's so thick that I can't help wondering if he ever loses food in it, and I have to force myself not to stare at it.
"Hello, miss. Barnaby's the name."
He sticks out his hand and vigorously pumps mine when I accept the shake. Barnaby is definitely not my type, but he's a nice change from the stuck-up Nigel. Nice to meet you, Barnaby. I'm Piper.
So tell me about you,
Barnaby says. But before I can even open my mouth, he blurts out,
I train racing pigeons.
Racing pigeons? Is that even a thing? His lips split into a wide grin and he slaps his thigh.
Is it a thing? I'll say it is. My prize pigeon Maribel can do 100 miles per hour. Easy. Of course, they don't race right away. It takes just the right training regimen. But I've been doing it for so long that I have that down. First, you have to give them the right food. I like to use...
My attention wanders as Barnaby describes different breeds, feeding regimens, and racing strategies.
Hey, want to see some pictures of my feathered friends?
Barnaby asks as he pulls out his phone. He keeps pictures of pigeons on his phone? I can hear Belle's voice in my head, spouting about all the red flags. But before I can politely decline, he begins swiping through numerous close-up shots of pigeons on his phone screen.
Aren't they just the most beautiful creatures?
He asks proudly, and I force a smile on my face. They sure are. The bell rings then, and I sigh in relief. Well, it was nice meeting you, Barnaby. Best of luck with the, pigeons. As he waddles away, I run a hand across my forehead and place another check mark in the no column. I don't know how Patrick's brother thought this was going to help me, but it's been a disaster so far. Thankfully, there are only a few people left. It can't possibly get much worse. I hear someone take the seat across from me, and I glance up, expecting another train wreck. However, this man has kind eyes and a warm smile, and he seems normal.
I'm Jack.
And just like that, my tongue is tied. Hi, I'm Piper. My eyes drop to the table and my hands fidget on my lap. So, I guess it's not all men I'm self-conscious around, only the ones I find handsome. That's just great.
Piper, that's a cool name. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but you seem like the most normal woman I've met tonight. So why are you here?
I chuckle slightly and lift my eyes. I was thinking the same thing about you. I'm here because I pause on the word. If I say therapist, suddenly I seem a lot less normal. And he's not really my therapist since I've not actually met him. So I decide a tiny fib won't matter that much. My friend Patrick thought I needed some practice talking to men to boost my confidence. What about you? Jack sighs.
I normally wouldn't unload this on a first date, but I just got out of a long relationship. My sister dragged me here thinking that dating someone new would help me forget my ex.
It's not always that easy, though, is it?
No, it definitely is not.
He smiles again, and the rest of our conversation seems to flow much easier. He tells me about the relationship he just got out of. 3 years, and then she decided she wanted to move to LA to be an actress. And I tell him about mine. I don't know if there are sparks flying, but it is nice to be able to talk to him without getting all tongue-tied. So I'm a little disappointed when the bell rings this time.
Well, this has been lovely, Piper, he says, standing up. Hope to see you around again soon.
You too, I say, and manage to keep eye contact.
So, how's it going?
Patrick asks as he slides into the seat across from me. I guess I hadn't realized he would end up at my table during the event. Oh, just dandy, I say. I've had 2 guys who were pretty hung up on themselves, one that builds model airplanes and one that races pigeons. How about you?
Pigeon racing? Is that a thing?
I chuckle slightly. That's exactly what I said, but believe me, it is. I've seen the pictures to prove it. Did you not get any interesting women? Patrick laughs and leans forward, lowering his voice. No, I got some doozies.
I got a woman who wants to have foot surgery so she can walk on her toes like Barbie, one who alphabetizes her nail polish collection, and one who brought a stuffed animal.
I grimace and shake my head. Why did your brother think this would help? It's like a meeting of the eccentric. For a second, his smile falters, but then he shrugs.
You are talking to the eccentrics, aren't you?
I suppose.
Then it looks like it's helping with your people confidence, if nothing else.
I guess that's true. It's also making me rethink dating at all. I mean, if this is what I have to look forward to, then I might just be better off alone. A weird expression crosses his face, but it's so brief that I don't have time to identify it.
Well, at least we have each other.
Yeah. I smile at him, feeling relaxed for the first time all night. Thanks for doing this with me. He returns the smile, and I notice again how handsome his features are. Wait, if I find Patrick handsome, why am I not tongue-tied around him? It has to be because we're just friends, right? But if we're just friends, why do I find myself wondering why his marriage didn't work out and what it would be like to kiss him?
Earth to Piper, you okay?
I blink to see him waving his hand in front of my face. What?
I asked if you wanted to get out of here. I'm afraid Barbie girl might try to come and find me again. I don't know if I can turn her down nicely.
I glance around, but everyone else is still conversing at the tables. Are we allowed to?
Patrick chuckles. It's not a prison. We can leave whenever we want. Besides, we can just tell them we matched if they ask.
He's said the words nonchalantly, but my heart speeds up at the thought. What is that about? It has to be this environment. It's doing funny things to my brain. Then yes, let's get out of here. The fresh air should fix my brain. I can't really be falling for my coworker. Can I?